Hey everyone, I'm here to present an interactive infographic, The Evolution assignment today, and I'm here to introduce for myself. My name is Devan Islam Kisolo Segren. I'm 21 years old, and my metric ID is 01021072106. And I'm currently taking Bachelor in Creative Multimedia, and this is my fourth sem. So today I'm here to present. So let's start. Okay. There will be 5 parts over here: introduction, timeline, impact, future, and expectation. So we start off with the introduction. The Macintosh is a family of personal computers designed, manufactured, and sold by Apple Incorporated since January 1984. The original Macintosh is the first successful mass-market all-in-one desktop personal computer to have featured a graphical user interface, built-in screen, and mouse. Apple sold the Macintosh alongside its popular Apple II, Apple IIgs, and Apple III and Apple Lisa families of computer until the other models were discontinued in 1990s. As today, this is my title and topic for my first assignment from History of Multimedia subject. There are a few researches I have done and concluded in this assignment, and I'll be presenting this topic using PowerPoint with hyperlinks as main tool. So let's go back. Timeline. So this is the timeline. We start off in 1984 till 1989. So the first Macintosh was released with Macintosh 128K. There's operating system software 1.0. The CPU Motorola 68,000 at 7.836 milliliters effectively. Memory was 128 KB. I'm sorry for the interruption. Memory was 128 KB RAM built-in and display. The procedure, the successor, and alongside with the A Macintosh XL. The system was a little upgraded, the CPU was the same, the memory is a little upgraded, and the procedure and success are the same. And there goes Macintosh 5.2K. Operating system are a little upgraded, and the CPU is the same. Memory is the same as the Macintosh XL and the predecessor and successor. And these are the last 3 Macintosh released within this timeline. So the fourth one will be Macintosh 2. The operating system is a little upgraded. The CPU is upgraded as well. The memory is upgraded to 1 MB, which is expandable to 8 MB. And the successor is previous one. So operating for the next one is the Macintosh. And the operating system is a little upgraded, and the CPU is upgraded. Memory are the same, which is 1 MB or 4 MB, which is expandable also to 128 MB. And last but not least, Macintosh 2 CI. So the operating system is 6 upgraded, and the CPU is the same, the memory is same, and the predecessor and the successor are the same. So let's move on to the next timeline. So the first Macintosh released in 1990 was A Macintosh 2 SI. So the operating system is 6.0.8L and macOS 7.6.1. And the CPU are the same. The memory is 2 MB, which is a little upgraded, and the display is 9-inch, 20 cm, and monochrome. Moving on to the next one, Macintosh Classic 11, or you can call it Performa 200. The operating system are the same, the CPU is the same, and the memory is the same. So moving on to the next one, Macintosh 2 VX. Operating system are the same, which is little upgraded. The CPU are the same, and the memory is 4 MB, expandable to 68 MB. Successor, which is Macintosh Quadra. And then Macintosh Color Classic, the operating system is upgraded, the CPU is upgraded, the memory is upgraded as well, and display and successful. Continuing the Macintosh 638 operating system 7.1, which is upgraded, the CPU is the same, and the memory is the same as well. Moving on to the Macintosh Classic 2, and which is Perform 200 as well. Operating system a little upgraded, the CPU is upgraded as well, and the memory is upgraded. In 1996 to 2001, there's the Power Macintosh. Operating system is a little upgraded, and the CPU is Power PC a little upgraded as well, and the memory is expanded to 160 megabyte. And moving on to the Power Mac G3 Blue and White type, it's a desktop computer, and the CPU is Power PC G3, and the pedestal is followed by the before Macintosh. The Graphite Power Mac G4 type is desktop computer, CPU single or dual power G4, and the predecessor was the previous Power Macintosh. Moving on to the iMac G4, which is 15-inch screen. Operating system is upgraded, CPU is upgraded, and the memory is upgraded even better, 228 MB to 256 MB. The display is 15-inch, 17-inch, or 20-inch LCD. The graphic up to NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200 Ultra with 32 MB of DDR SD8 RAM. The next one is Apple Power Mac G5. The CPU is upgraded and upgraded the previous one. The Apple Wild Mouse operating system Mac OS 9.1, and the CPU is upgraded and upgraded also previous one as well. iMac 2006 operating system Mac OS. CPU Intel Core Duo, and the memory is upgraded to GB, which is 160 or 250 GB with 7200 RPM. Moving on to the next one, iMac 2007. CPU Intel Mobile Core, and the memory is upgraded to 250 or 320 GB and 7200 RPM. Moving on, Mac Pro type desktop. Operating system is upgraded, the CPU is upgraded, and the memory is sustained with 320 GB and 7200 RPM. And moving on, iMac 2009, operating system is upgraded, the CPU is the same, the CPU is upgraded, and the memory is 500 GB or 1 TB of the available, 7200 RPM as well. And moving on, the iMac 2010. Operating system is upgraded, CPU is upgraded, and memory is the same. And then iMac 2001, 2011, operating system is the same. The CPU is upgraded, the memory is reduced to 250 GB with 7200 RPM. Mac Pro Dual CPU type is desktop, and the operating system is upgraded, CPU is upgraded, memory is 1 TB and 7200 RPM. So moving on to iMac 2014, CPU is upgraded and the memory is upgraded to 8 GB. And moving on to the iMac 2015, CPU is upgraded. Moving on to the iMac 2015, CPU is upgraded and the memory is 8 GB or configurable to 16 or 32 GB. And the iMac 2017, CPU is upgraded, memory is 8 GB. And moving on, iMac 2019, the CPU is upgraded, the memory is upgraded as well, and the previous was the previous iMac. And last one in the timeline, iMac 27, the CPU is upgraded, the display is 5K Retina display with 500 nits brightness, and the memory is upgraded as well. The iMac 24 M1, current iMac, which is CPU is upgraded, the memory is 8 GB, unified memory, display 4.5 Retina display with 500 nit brightness as well. And that's all from timeline. Moving on to the impact. So the impact to the to the change of the human's life and how it can improve human's life as well. So the impact how it delivered the communication and also impacted the human's life. So the original Mac, introduced 30 years ago today, stand out as one of the most influential consumer technology of its era. Its innovative design and simplicity helped to set the stage for the coming explosion in desktop computing and the societal shifts that came with. The Mac was also the first consumer-targeted computer to come with mouse, also a bit of slight design that quickly became an industry standard. Apple didn't necessarily invent all its consumer-friendly technology. Rather, it took the idea from places like Xerox, Palo Alto Research Center, legendary Silicon Valley lab, and turned them into commercial success. Steve Jobs introduced the first Mac, a beach box with built-in monitor, and computers were largely the domain of hobbyists and office workers, like most of the peers. The first Mac was low-powered with a relatively tiny amount of memory. Owners could use the computer for word processing, graphic design, and planning projects. Digital music, also video games, modern internet had yet to be invented. What set the Mac apart what is obvious compared with its more wonky rivals, which is include the IBM, Tandy, and Commodore. Jobs wanted to make computing appealing to the general public streamlining. All the complex command users could click on icon and drag and drop, for example. Graphical interfaces, as they are known, soon became ubiquitous not just on desktop computers but also the smartphone and tablet of today. Computers are now in the vast majority of US households. They have changed the way people live in providing access to nearly limitless information, tools for communicating across the globe, and ability for many people to work from home. 9 months after introducing the Mac, Apple upgraded the computer with memory and a fast processor. It renamed the original Mac the Macintosh 128K to distinguish it from the newer model, the Macintosh 512K. Over the year, a steady cycle of upgrade made the computers more sleek and powerful to the point that they hardly resemble the original. Eventually, Apple expanded the brand to include laptops. Moving on to the future. What will we expect in the future? What's next for the future? First, that the Apple will ship a new iMac Pro in 2023, which is larger screen than the 24-inch iMac. The 27-inch iMac is big, beautiful display and graphically muscle under the hood. So the promise of revamped Pro model shipping in 2023 has us excited about the future of the Mac desktop. The iMac Pro 2023 will feature a display panel around 120 zooms and over 400 mini LEDs, 4000 I mean. The Apple will ship new iMac Pro in 2020 with larger screens than the 24-inch iMac. Sorry, I repeated again. And last but not least, expectation. Like the 2021 MacBook Pro model, the next generation iMac will likely to adopt a mini LED display for brighter colors, deeper blacks, and improve HDR, and it would feature Pro motion display technology, allowing for up to 110 refresh rate. Refresh large skinned iMac could be similar in design to, to the 24-inch iMac. The Pro Display XDR and the Studio Display inside the featured black bezel, and if it doesn't indeed look similar to the Pro Display XDR. Bezel size could be much slimmer and it could perhaps have less of potential. A refresh rate at 120 Hz will allow for smoother gameplay and scrolling through various apps like Safari, plus it will improve general animation throughout macOS. Some rumors have indicated that the iMac will have a display that larger than 27 inches to mirror the smaller iMac increase from 2.15 inches to 24. But the display, Frost Young, says that it's going to be measured in at 27 inches like the current model. Apple has tested Face ID for the Mac iPro, but it's not confirmed feature and it's not clear whether Face ID will make it into the release version of the machines. And that's all from me. And you can look over the reference over here. And thank you very much.